Right, it is take two, and we are horribly late. Apologies for that. So if you just tuned in, unfortunately we missed qualifying, and about 20 laps of this race, unfortunately. Thanks, Scott. But yeah, if you are here with me and you've just seen the notification pop up that we are live, welcome to Thursday night. It's Division 3. We finish off this week in Austria before we head off to the Netherlands for Zandvoort next week. At the moment, safety car. So I will try to catch up a little bit and see what happened during the qualifying. But it is Getue Levy who is leading with 5 lap old hard. Safety car just came out, and I think that was because of minor. Salzmeister in second, Scalzi in third. Then we have Big Spoil and Geerberta on the mediums. Dixie on the hard. Ron, Takeaway, Scully, and the rest of the guys all on mediums. So everyone used the opportunity to do their pit stops, except for Dixie and the top 3. At the moment, it is looking pretty for Getue Levy, with Sols and with Scalzi. From what I understand is it was, I just want to see on Race Director, maybe we can figure out who got what. So our pole position was for Scalzi, so he got pole position tonight in Austria. And it seems like it is a front row lockout for Red Bull, with Knight Rider in second. A third was Getue Levy. Fourth was a Takeaway, followed by Dixie and Geerberta. So that's what it looked like during qualifying. And apologies once again for missing that. But we are live at the moment, and we've got a good, 15 laps left. So yeah, we missed a good part of the action, but at least we're catching the end of it. So my name is Abby, and welcome to the last race this week in FTR for Austria, before head off, like I said, to Zandvoort. Zandvoort will be Tuesday night. You can join Salim for Premier Division, Wednesday night for Webo. I'm pretty sure load shedding will be slightly better for me next week, and you can join me for Division 3. If you are listening, just let me know in the comments if my sound is okay. I have not checked it. Literally just switched on and tried to get onto YouTube, which took forever to load. So just check the sound settings for me, and if you can hear me nice and clear. Safety car is in this lap. I'm going to try to stick on Geerberta here, because that will give us a good view of what's happening in front of him. Atmar currently in 11th, just in front of him, Knight Rider. So you might see some overtaking from Knight Rider. It seems like the guys in front, you know what, let's just stick with Big Spoil here. He led a race, I think it was last week or the week before, so it looks like they called it, and a big moment there for Scalzi. And Big Spoil was a little bit too careful there. Didn't take the opportunity that was waiting for him. He probably could have taken an opportunity there on Scalzi, but nevertheless, it seems like they're all good. Geerberta is now having a look at Big Spoil, seeing that he backed out. That he's going to go on the inside, is he? No, he's just going to wait. Buys time there. Ron skipped and some wheel banging here between Ron and Takeaway. So Ron making the most out of it. Ron has got a penalty. He does the penalties a little bit later. Let's just get the race start out of the way, or the restart out of the way. And a nice view in front where you can see the Red Bull of Scalzi, Big Spoil, Geerberta, and then Ron just ahead of the Royal Takeaway. Dixie is just behind them. Scully to the 2 Aston Martins in 8th and 9th. They've been scoring some really good points this season. So they're looking on top of it. Oh, and as Ron runs slightly deep, and Takeaway is going to be on the inside. Let's just see what they do. Yeah, Ron doesn't fight that too hard. I think he knew he was in the wrong position there for the corner. So a good first there by Takeaway, gets him up into 6th position. Bertha still chasing after Big Spoil and Scalzi here. And then Salzmeister. The gap between Getue Levy and Sols is 1.4 now. The 2.7 gap between Sols and Scalzi. So Scalzi's lost a bit of time there to the front two. And our closest battle is probably here. And I'm going to focus, and as I say that, Dixie just got past Ron. So Ron clearly not getting into rhythm as quickly as the rest of the guys around him. Scully probably had a moment because he's got no front wing. Does he? No, there is no wing on that Aston Martin. So he's going to have to back into the pits for a nose change. Not sure what happened there. That promotes Atmar into 10th. And Night Rider still in 9th. And he showed some good pace and quali, but at the moment he's not getting away. I just want to see if there's any damage on that Red Bull. It looks like it. Looks like an end plate's missing on the right hand side. So we'll just monitor that. And as I say that, yeah, there goes the new nose for Night Rider. So he had a problem somewhere along the line, so he's into the pit. So a horrible night for him, second on the grid. I think second on the grid, finds himself basically plumb last at the moment. Buerta did make the move on Big Boy, so he's up into 4th. He's now chasing after Skolsy. He's 0.4 of a second behind Skolsy on the faster tyre. It's just how long. Ooh, and a big moment there for the Mercedes driver. He's going to lose some time there. Yeah, lost about, yeah, there we go, almost 1 second. More than a second that he lost. Just a little bit of a snap of tank sapper there for him. Bit of oversteer, snap of correction. And Takeaway joins the party with a 3-second time penalty. So, but he was 0.4 of a second behind Skolsy, pushing for the DRS, and now has to defend rather than attack from Big Boy behind him. Then a bit of a gap to Dixie Killer. So it looks like these three, between Buerta, Big Boy, and I would say Skolsy, it looks like our closest battle, except for Takeaway, who is behind Atmar at the moment. He's going to give it all on the inside and move well done. Atmar giving them enough space on the inside. So good driving by both of them. That is Takeaway 2 up into 8th, Atmar in 9th. And Big Boy in the Alpine, he is sticking with the Mercedes of Buerta at the moment. 0.7 of a second, so very difficult to overtake here. Everyone runs similar wing settings, and it's all about corner exit. If you get a good corner exit, you can do the overtake. But this track is also very harsh on your ERS, so your deployment, you don't recover as much as you would like in a normal track like Monza. So very difficult to rebuild your deployment after been using it. So let's just look at penalties for now. Oops, what am I doing? Let's just look at penalties. Here we go. 6 seconds for Buerta, 3 seconds for Dixie, Ron, Takeaway, and Night Rider so far. So they're all on the board. So 6 seconds is not going to help much for Buerta. It's going to drop him probably way past, to maybe just behind, just between Dixie Killer and Ron at the moment. But there is 10 laps to go, so there could be another safety car. There could be cautions, but at this stage he's going to have to put his foot down. Last week just missed out on a podium with a penalty, and could have got the race win if he didn't have track limiting validation. So but a good race nevertheless for him. Currently in 4th, and he's opened up that gap slightly to Big Boy, 1.1 second, but yeah, he's going to need more than that. He's got 9 laps to try to dig out 6 seconds out of the pack behind him, which is a very tall order, especially on this track. Very short lap time here, so it's going to be very difficult for him trying to get that 6 seconds ahead of the guys behind him. Skolsy now seems to be, ooh, it's also like runs wide coming into turn 1, and that seems to have been the problem last night as well. A great race last night by Hashim, winning by a country mile really in Division 2, and second place for Spotlight for one of our new drivers, a reserve driver. So he had a good race. Nicky Shin in 3rd, so a good race by those two gentlemen in Division 2. Premier Division was once again controlled a little bit by Chavez. Ooh, big moment here for Skolsy. Really trying to get on the power here. But looking after his deployment very nicely. And he's chasing after Soulsmeister at the moment. So none of these guys have got any penalties. So DRS isn't able for the Red Bull driver on this occasion, and it's going to be all. Let's just see if Salzmeister can do a little bit of better in that turn, which he managed to do slightly. And all Scholes is doing is sitting within that DRS. He's putting slightly Geerbrugge with him and Big Spoil behind. And yeah, if he can pull those guys with him, it will open the gap to Dixie, which will give the guy slight breathing space there for Puerta with his penalties. But at the moment it is Salzmeister who is pulling the rest of the guys behind him in a DRS train. And once again, not that easy to overtake. And once again, not a big tire differential between the mediums and the hards here in Austria. Another good exit there from Scorsi out of turn 1. And he's going to give it on the inside of Sols. Yes, he is. Let's just see if Sols giving him space. Yeah. Sols giving him space here. But I can capitalize on this. He can get DRS. But Salzmeister in front also going to get DRS. Is he going to bring it in on the inside? No, he's not. Ooh. And they're getting very close between these drivers here. You get the feeling that Geerbrugge has got a lot of pace behind these guys, and it would be so beneficial for him if he can get past Salzmeister trying to build that gap that he needs for his penalties. So looking quite solid at the moment in the Mercedes. And yeah, it's all about using that DRS, using the exit. I think that he's seen that Salzmeister is battling through turn 1. If he can be close to Salzmeister into turn 1, he can probably really get himself into a good position to do the overtake. Although Salzmeister is going to have DRS on the next straight as well, make it slightly difficult for Puerta. It's a good exit, much better than what Salzmeister really battling into turn 1. But it's all fair at the moment. They're slightly leaving a bit of a gap between Puerta and Big Spoil. So 1.7 seconds the gap now. Further down the field, we've got still Dixie Killer in 6th position. He's also got penalties to reckon with at the end of the race. The same mistake away in Ron Skutter. Then Apmar is currently in 9th with a Night Rider. Yeah, not a very difficult night for him. And he's currently in 10th, so that will be valuable World Championship points for him and for his team. So it's all about just grinding it out. Some races will come to you, and some races will be very lonely, like this one. So, you just need to make the best of it. Right, let's get back to the front here again. So Salzmeister still within reach of that DRS of Big Spoil. Sorry, of Scalzi. And Geerbrugge now is still behind. So let's see if it's a better turn 1 by Salzmeister. Yeah, much better turn 1 by Salzmeister. And these three, that's the problem with not being in the DRS of the cars in front of you. They dropped Big Spoil another 1.3 seconds. We're a bit wide there by the Mercedes driver. It's going to compromise on the exit. And not going to be as close to Salzmeister as he would have liked. But Scalzi really had a horrible sector there. Ooh, climbing the curve there. Ooh, just save it, and well saved. And going from attack to defend against Big Spoil. So lost some valuable time there. It gives Salzmeister a bit of breathing space. And Scalzi did make, so he is in second at the moment, 4 seconds behind Couture Levy. With only 5 laps to go here in Austria. And let's just recap on our penalties. So the 6 seconds is for Ron, Night Rider and Puerta, and then 3 seconds for Sols, Dixie Killer and Takeaway. The rest of the guys penalty free. Well done to Appa, Big Spoil, and Scalzi and Couture Levy. So good stuff by them, keeping the car within the white lines. And our closest battle at the moment is probably going to be all the hard work that Buerta's done is now undone by that mistake of his. And Big Boy immediately at the back of him again. And he's now 1.8 seconds behind Solsmeister, and Solsmeister is still trying just to stick with Skolsy at the moment. So it is a Alpha Tauri in front versus a Red Bull versus a Ferrari. So 3 different manufacturers on the top 3. And that is good to see. At the moment, let me just have a look at your driver standings, so I can just tell you what is going on in Division 3. So at the moment it is Knight Rider leading Solsmeister, 67 from 54. And then you've got Robert Buffel, who's not yet tonight, in third. Minor in fourth, which is retired already. Scully is in fifth. Couture Levy, he's all the way in 14th on 11 points, but that's will get him nicely up the table. And it's going to bring definitely Solsmeister much closer to Knight Rider. Skolsy at the moment is an 8th on 29 points versus the 60 or 76 from the leader, so it's also going to bring him slightly closer to his teammate. But yeah, a good drive from Sols. So if he can maintain this, he will definitely lead the championship heading into Zandvoort next week. Geerbeurt are getting his rhythm back. It's opened the gap now between him and Big Sport to 1.8 seconds, and clawed a bit of that 2 seconds back from Solsmeister to 1.8. But there's only 2 laps to go, so it's a little bit too late all now. Knight Rider, he's going to try to go for the fastest lap. Let's maybe follow him around a bit and see if he can steal the fastest lap from the guys. No close battles at the moment, except for Dixie getting closer. Big Sport somewhere along the line had a moment, and really battling with the Alpine at the moment. Dixie does have penalties, so Big Sport keeping it on track in track limit. So Dixie Killer is, I think he is on 3 seconds. So Big Sport is going to be safe whether he's going to get the 5th place on track or whether he's going to get it on after the race on penalties. Or is he going to give it on the inside? He is. Do they leave each other's space? Or they do leave each other's space. Good driving there by Dixie. Well done to him. Leaving his space on the outside, and good stuff from Big Sport not driving into him or diving into him from the outside. But yeah, Big Sport, if I were him, I wouldn't fight this too badly. Just sit in his DRS. You'll get the position back on penalties, and he might just jump through a Bertha as well, although that gap is now 4.1 seconds, and Geerbeurt has got a 6-second time penalty, so things might just turn out good here for Bertha. He's 4.4 seconds here. He can get a little bit closer to Sols. It might just be good for him for 4th. He might just be able to hang on to 4th position. There we go, Knight Rider fastest lap at 1:07.099. That would be 1 extra World Championship point for him. And yeah, that is valuable points. When it's not your night, you need to try to grab every available point that is for you. This is still early days in FTR Season 9. This is only round 4 out of 11. So we're not even half distance yet. So plenty of time to accumulate points. You will have bad races, unfortunately. You will have really good races. Tracks that you will love will come up. The tracks that you do not like and are not good at is going to happen. So Geerbeurt are getting very close to Sols. I'm not sure if Sols is running out of tyres, but Geerbeurt should also be running out of tyres very soon. 16 laps on those mediums. This is the last lap. And I just want to see if we get to Lebius so we can follow him across the finish line. So 3.2 seconds for him. It's definitely the win in the back for him. Skolsy A good recovery from him. He is in second, and in this fierce battle. But as I anticipate, 3 seconds versus 6 seconds, yeah, it's not going to matter much in terms of that. But let's see where Gaturlevi, he crosses the line in the AlphaTauri. A great win by him. Scalzi finishes in second. No penalties for them. Salzmeister crosses the line. Buerta crosses the line. Let's just see if he stays in fourth. He goes down to, oh my word, to 7. So he's picked up more penalties. We'll see at the end of the race how many seconds penalties he did get. So he goes from a possible 4th to 7th. Promotes Big Spoil to 4th. Dixon for takeaway in 6th. We're just waiting for Atmar in the McLaren to get around the last corner and bring the... I'm not sure if he's coasting or if he's actually in control of his car. We're going to have to double check with him. He finished in 9th. Scully is going to cross the line in 10th. And Night Rider, who did snatch the fastest lap there, will finish up in 11th. Here we go, and that is your Austria. Apologies for the late start to the stream. Unfortunately, ESCOM decides when to switch it on and when not. That was slightly painful. So anyway, driver of the day, Salzmeister. Yeah, I'm not sure where he came from on the grid, but I'm going to have to agree with Codemasters on that, due to my limited knowledge of this race. But if you did tune in for the half an hour or so that I was here, thank you very much for joining me. Well, let's just go through the final standings. As Gaturlevi heads off to the podium celebrations, and there you go. It's champagne time here in Austria. As we head off to round 5 next week, it is AlphaTauri from the Red Bull of Scholzi, and then the Ferrari of Takeaway. So some good results for Takeaway in the past couple of weeks. There we go. So we've lost Esotronic, we've lost Minor in this session. Night Rider finishing in 11th with the fastest lap all the way, so from the grid, second on the grid to 11th, so not a good night for him. Scully in 10th. Atmar in 9th, Ron Skitter in 8th, and then we have Buerta in 7th of these penalties. I just want to see, so he had 9-second penalties, my word, and he was at a state. Yeah, so you got an extra time penalty somewhere. A takeaway in 6th, then we got Dixie Killer, Big Spoil, very good drive by Big Spoil, 11th on the grid to 4th, Salzmeister from 8th on the grid to 3rd, Scholzi, who was on pole position, he finishes 2nd, and Gaturlevi in 1st. Well, that was short and sweet from me. Apologies once again for the late joining. But from my side, Avi, hopefully next week will be a slight longer and more eventful stream from my side. But nevertheless, thank you very much for your company, and we'll catch you next week. Ciao, ciao.